What's up guys, and welcome to today's build. This is going to be my first computer build on this channel. It's also going to be my first computer build on my own actually. So today we have a Cooler Master NR200 build. That means it's going to be a form factor build. Try to make it as small as possible for when I travel. That's kind of the reasoning why I went for this case. And we're going to be doing a GeForce RTX 2080 Super paired with a Ryzen 7 3700X. This is really like the best combo for this kind of graphics card since I'm going to be streaming and gaming. For the motherboard, we have an MSI B55 Gaming Edge ITX motherboard. A lot of mixed reviews about this motherboard, but there wasn't really a lot of motherboards I could go with for this kind of pairing, so let's see how that goes. And then for memory, 1TB M.2 SSD from Samsung. It's a 980. 16 gigs of RAM from G.Skill. For our cooler, we're going with the Mugen 5 air cooler, which is a pretty famous online, I guess, for a budget cooler. And then for our power supply, we're going with the Cooler Master SFX 650 volts. Kind of neat to go for a Cooler Master power cord with this kind of case because it's like a specific size. It's like really small. So yeah, I'll leave all the links in the description if you guys want to pick them up yourself. And yeah, let's get started on the build. Just a quick disclaimer. This is like my first build on my own. So don't get too, like, follow your own risk is what I'm trying to say. But I think I'm going to do a good job. The first thing we're going to want to do is actually try to do as much as we can on the motherboard. Because once we get inside the case, it is going to be quite difficult to try to do whatever we want while in the case. Start with the processor. We have our Ryzen 7. So for you guys that have never built a PC, what you want to do is look for this golden triangle on the edge, on one of the edges. You want to look at that golden triangle. Mine happens to be there. And what you want to do is you want to lift this up all the way. And you want to look on the motherboard for an indicator of where the golden triangle goes. So for this one, it's this little thing right there. And what we're going to do is just make sure you grab it from the edge. And you should not push it in. It should fall in perfectly. Just like that. And then you just push down on it. And there we go. That's the hardest part. Installing the processor. Done. So yeah, the next thing we're going to do is install the front SSD. And how we're going to do that is right over here. The front SSD goes behind this heatsink right here. You want to be careful because it is attached by a wire here. So when you take it off, so you're going to want to line up the space of the SSD. You see that there's like a little shorter end and a longer end. You want to make sure that it lines up relatively easy. And then you're going to want to get this screw. So once you screw that in, make sure it's nice and secure. Some motherboards have two things, but this only has one pull down, so you just pull these down. Make sure you pull them down. Make sure that you line up the RAM correctly, that there's going to be one side longer than the other on the RAM. So what you want to do is just line it up how you see the spaces smoothly, and then you want to push evenly across. Make sure it's lined up. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually prep the motherboard for the cooler. So the way we're going to do that is that we're going to have to actually take off the cooler brackets that they have prior. And how we're going to do that is just very gently but surely going to just take these off. But what you need to get are these little things, because there's a little bit of a clearance issue with the cooler. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring out the case. So we are done prepping the motherboard. We can set that aside. We're going to place the motherboard into the case. So prior to this, I kind of took all the panels off the case, moved all the wires around, got the power supply bracket off, and now we're going to place the motherboard inside the case. What you're going to do is you're going to line up in the corners. There's going to be like these little things right there. The riser's in there, so all you got to do is line up the I/O shield to the side of the case. Mine's already built into it, so I don't really need to worry about anything else. So we're going to screw it enough, not too tight yet. We're going to tighten it all together in that star formation after we get everything in. Can't see, but I'm able to get this one in as well, as such, like that. Alright, after putting the power supply back into the case, we're going to get the power cables, and we're actually going to connect it first to the motherboard, and then connect it into the power supply, because it will be a lot easier to do it in that way. Alright, so now that we have all the cables in from the power supply, the next thing we're going to do is install our cooler. So the cooler, I believe the orientation is supposed to go like this. So we're going to want a pea-sized dot in the middle. Alright. So, quick little update. Ran into quite a difficult problem with the air cooler. It seems that there's like a clearance problem. Like, I'm not too sure exactly how to fix it. There's probably a way to fix it. Now that we got the Prism cooler installed, we're gonna do the fans. So the one case fan, I'm gonna put up here. Because the other cooler is not here anymore, I actually have to change the direction. So I'm just gonna follow what the standard is for this case. So it's gonna be cool air coming from the top and then out through the back and the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install two fans, one case fan up here with one of my fans, and then I'm gonna put one of my fans in the back as well, and then I'll probably do the second case fan on the bottom over here. And I just gotta put these guys in there. And alright, now that we got all the fans in, the last thing to do is put in the graphics card. This should work. So as the moment of truth, we're gonna test to see if it works. Ooh! It's been a few hours since I built the PC. There was a few issues with actually the RAM. I actually didn't install the RAM correctly, so I was trying to like see what the hell the issue was. It ended up I just didn't install it correctly. But now it's working. All the stuff is updating, Windows is installed. In the meantime, something I wanted to do, because the case is pretty bland, customize it a little bit. So I'm gonna take the front panel off, and then I have a bunch of stickers that I've been saving up for like a couple years now, which I think is enough to fill up this small little panel. So let's do that, and then we'll conclude the video. So it's been a week since I built my PC. Just wanted to quickly go by, you know, the building experience. Would I recommend it? Would I not recommend it? Like I said, this was my first PC build on my own. This is actually my first even ITX motherboard build, where it's like, you know, a small form factor PC. And I just wasn't really expecting it to be that difficult. I mean, if you saw in the video, like there's no room for cable management. Once you put something inside the case, it is very difficult to get it out. You need to build it right the first time. That's kind of like the problem with the, you know, an ITX form factor build that is this small. Kind of like the pros as well of this. It's really, really small. It's actually a lot quieter than what it was in the video. One of the screws were actually loose. That's where the sound from the fan came from. Because there was no screws on the top panel for the fans, it actually makes like no noise. Pretty cool. I don't know how they're able to do that. The loudest thing is actually the air cooler, which can easily be upgraded if I wanted to. That brings me to the other thing, where the clearance issues. There wasn't really a lot of stuff online about clearance issues, so I guess you can use me as an example. The Mugen cooler with this motherboard does not fit. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found this helpful. I try my best, try to be as informative as possible. This is only ever my second technically PC build. My first on my own and my first like ITX build. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section below, or you can join my Discord. Link is also below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you do leave a thumbs up on the video. Lets me know what you guys like to see and what you guys don't like to see. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 1,500 subscribers. I'll see most of you guys on stream later today. I stream daily, so if you're into a lot of different games and you want to come chill, definitely come through on one of the streams. So yeah, I'll see you guys later on stream.